Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to one of my favourite people and a tremendous talent. Jamie Raven, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks, Alex. Thanks for coming.
Just sat through this show then, The Illusionists, here at the Shaftesbury Theatre in the West End, and it's big and it's spectacular and it's fast moving and you're the star of it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. It's an honour being asked to perform in the West End to start with, but to be part of a show that obviously as a magician I've known so much about for so long, to work with guys like Kevin James and David Winter and all the other guys, it's an honour. So proud, be onwards.
What I love about these variety shows is you've all got your own thing and you've all got your own persona and character. You're the least creepiest of all of them, so congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. It's something I work very hard at, so do appreciate that.
Well, there is a mystique about magicians and some really play on it and others don't, like yourself.
Yeah, no, that's it, and it's just not me. I think when you're finding your way in our business, you have to work out who you are and stay true to that, and this is what I am, and if you're kind enough to say I'm the least creepy, I sincerely appreciate that.
You're also very charming on stage, and the ladies love you. Seeing you at the stage door was very interesting just now. I mean, the fans are important, and what Britain's Got Talent does is offer you this million people audience that you can reach immediately. You can't buy that any other way, can you? No amount of theatre or touring the clubs could do that.
No, I've been doing it professionally for 11 years, so I promise you, I'm living proof that whatever you think of the show, Britain's Got Talent, it was the best thing that I did up until this point professionally, and it has such a wide reach that when you go on that show for a total of, I was on the audition, the semi and the final, it must have been maybe 10 or 11 minutes in total, and to get so much recognition off the back of that, it's incredible, and it's such a wide-reaching show, and I'm thrilled I took part.
We spoke about this last time, but why you? Why did you make it so far, and why did people warm to you? Have you worked that out yet?
No, I don't know. I don't know. It's just maybe it's because I smile a lot. I don't know. It's just lovely. People say all the time how humble he is and what a nice guy he is, and I'm not trying to be humble, or I'm just trying to treat people with respect. They've, like today for example, they've come and they've paid for a ticket to come to watch our show, so I feel obliged, it's my duty to go and thank them and to be there, and if they would like a photo, it's a pleasure. If they'd like me to sign anything, it's a pleasure, and I'm only here because people are kind enough to vote for me. So.
But that is rare. I mean, you don't get a giraffe walking out the back of the Lyceum to do autographs for the Lion King, do you?
No, but he's got another gig to go on to, so I'm here for another show tonight.
It's an interesting world you live in. I mean, you put this show together and it must be technically difficult because you're bringing together all these different acts and making them slinkily work. I mean, it's a tough gig to get this show right. And I know on press night, it had wonderful reviews. Some people didn't like it. Ultimately, if you like magic, this is the best you're going to see in England. That's the truth.
Well, we think so. The difficulty that we've got with the show and putting it together is there are 7 different styles of performance, and there are lots and lots of tricks. So the logistics of moving stuff around is mind-boggling. If you wanted to come back and watch what the guys behind the scenes do in between each of the acts, if you come to watch it, you'll realise, like Kevin James, when he's doing his operation or his chaplain, there's so much stuff to move on and off so quickly. And with Andrew, because Andrew and Ben's acts are genuinely dangerous, so they have to be set very precisely, so they do take a bit more time setting those. But it's a great deal of work that goes into making this show happen. And as you say, with 7 different styles of performance, we're just trying our best to give people, we're trying to tick all the boxes. So if you might like that, but you might like this even more, and then you like this guy, and hopefully there's something for everybody.
I know one of the biggest criticisms about these magic shows are there aren't women in these shows, but the truth is there aren't that many women in magic. I mean, I spend my life going around seeing shows and I love magic, but there really aren't many female magicians to pull from. Why is it?
I was chatting to Colin Cloud about this earlier, and there aren't very many female magicians at all, and I think it's because when we're younger, magic is the sort of thing that young guys tend to get into for whatever reason. You might think it's cool, you might see someone on the telly that inspires you, and I think at a young age it's not as appealing to ladies, females, girls. So I suspect that so for all of us now, we all started when we were 10 or 11, and I'm 32 now, so that's 20 odd years of my life, and there aren't that many female magicians that I know that started that young. Having said that, I know at the Magic Circle, the Young Magic Circle, they're making a real effort to try and get more girls into it at a younger age, because you're absolutely right, there's a gap, and we'd love to watch them and see them, because it doesn't matter what sex you are, we're just offering magic. We're all trying to make magic more popular, and whoever does it is fantastic.
And you can't do the tokenism stuff. There's no point putting somebody in because they're female and rubbish. I mean, the standard of this show is great. You've flown people in from around the world. The guy who does the card tricks, let's talk about him for a minute, because he is truly breathtakingly sensational. Probably the best operator of cards I've ever seen.
Den. Yeah, he's absolutely phenomenal. He does what he does, and none of us can do it, and that's why he's here. He has spent hours, weeks, months of his life learning how to deceive you, particularly with his hands and his cards. And if you haven't seen it, you have to watch it, because they have a camera on him and the screen is massive, and I promise you cannot see what he's doing. And I'm standing behind him when he does it, and I'm watching, believe me, and I can't see how he's doing it, and it's really infuriating. And what's even more infuriating is that he can't speak any English, so when we ask him for tips, he can't give them to us. So we might hire a translator to come in just for us so he can tell us how he does it all.
How thrilling is it for you to be asked to headline this show? I mean, when you've got Kevin James, who is one of my favourite magicians in the world, he's so unique and brilliant, and he truly is an innovator and an inventor as well. But you're the star of it. I mean, that's a great compliment, because they couldn't put you in if you were just token totty, could they?
Well, I don't know. I'd like to think that's why I'm here. Yeah, no, it's a massive honour to be in, because I'm a fan of magic first and foremost. So I know who all these guys are. I've looked up to them for as long as I've been learning, and they've all been performing for longer than I've been alive, Kevin and David. And to be part of something with them, and to get to pick their brains and to talk to them and to ask their advice, and for them to come over and say, oh, what about ... It's incredible. And as I say, I'm humbled beyond words to be here, and it's still not real, and I suspect come January the 4th, when it's all said and done, I still won't believe it, and in a few years' time I'll look at the poster and think, oh wow, do you know what? And then it'll kick in. But it's
and you are a West End star, there's no taking that away.
Well, thank you very much. For whatever happens to me the rest of my life, I'll have that poster. So yes,
I think what's most lovely about this show too, especially with it being on around Christmas, is that the kids can come in and not only watch it and enjoy it, but be part of it. You really embrace them in this show, and that's lovely, because there aren't that many shows for families in the West End.
Yeah, well, it's a magic show first and foremost. So we want, number one, we want people to come and enjoy it for what it is, but we also want younger ones, children, to come and watch, to be inspired by magic. Not, it might not be us and what we're doing, but they might come and it might plant a seed, and in a few years' time they might, and it's an interactive thing. So I get some people up, and David is the master, and people feel like they're more involved in a show if they know, oh, that's his kid, or it was the one in front of him. And then, because the most logical explanation, a lot of the times people think that it's all set up and they're all stooges, but I promise you there is none of that. We're just trying to include the audience as much as we can, because we think it adds value to the show.
I think what's lovely about your act too is that some people take a long time to get into it in magic. The mentalists, if they're hypnotizing people, not that there's that particularly in this show, but it takes a long time. What you do is really close up and intimate, and the way you did the newspaper trick, for example, we won't give it away, it was one of the slinkiest ways I've ever seen it done. How many hours goes into making that look so simple?
Yeah, many. I'd like to be cool and tell you that, oh no, just pick it up, but sadly for me it's not. It is hours and hours and hours, and there's no substitute for it. Unfortunately, you have to learn. It's like Den. You watch him. There's no, you watch what he does, and you can tell from what he's doing that he's spent months, years of his life working on it. And it's the same for us. You work on a routine, you find a trick you think will be brilliant, find out your way of doing it, then you practice yourself, and when you can do it in the mirror, then you do it on your friends, and then when they're bored of it, you do family, and then it comes to a point where you're doing it on a stage, and it's the pressure, but you can't simulate it. You've just got to do it over and over and over again, and then eventually
it truly is that 10,000 hour thing, isn't it?
And absolutely right. And
what's also nice about this show, there's live drums and orchestra and percussion throughout, and that's appealing. It gives a real energy to the show, and of course it drives the show through as well. When you're stood there and the pin focuses on you, because there's some great lights in this, and it's beautifully produced, I presume it has to be utterly thrilling, because there's nothing on this scale in this country.
It's amazing. It's incredible. If you want to showcase whatever you do as a performer, if you can come to any theatre and it's lit and it's staged as you want it to be, it's incredible, because there are 1,500 people sitting in silence, waiting to hear what you have to say, waiting to see what you've got to show them, and it is equally terrifying, but the thrill of it's incredible.
I think the greatest compliment I can give you is I see magic show after magic show around the world year after year, and tonight I've seen new stuff, and that's very rare and incredibly impressive, and I thought the show was utterly charming and you were great in it. I've never interviewed anybody on a toilet before. Should we draw attention to this or move on?
Let's move on.
I've done a lot in here. Michael Ball and Matt Cardell recently I did in The Wonderful Memphis, but you're sat on a toilet in The Illusionists. It's a trick. It is.
Just to clarify, right? The toilet is down. I'm fully clothed. We only have one chair in this dressing room, so I thought I'd give it to you. I was going to sit on the floor, but I like to look people in the eye when I'm talking to them, so that's why one of my feet is currently perched in a shower. The other is between Alex's legs, but I assure you we're both fully
You're
clothed.
digging a hole very deep. Come and see The Illusionists here at the Shaftesbury Theatre. It's a wonderful show, especially for the family this Christmas. Jamie Raven, you're a true talent. Thanks for talking to me.
My absolute pleasure. Thanks for coming.